how bad it looks.
Alright, so Blue Beetle is the newest movie based off of the DC comics. And it follows Jaime, who inadvertently gets chosen by a piece of alien technology called the Scarab, which gives Jaime special superhero abilities. Alright, so this movie tries to use its Latino family angle to stand out and be unique. Jaime's family are very prominent in this film, and also his family is Latino. And if you missed that his family is very aggressively Latino, don't worry, the movie will remind you in the most stereotypical, tacky ways possible. And before you get mad at me, that's not coming from me, it's actually coming from the person who watched this movie with me who is Hispanic. And those were their words. They said that some of the stuff in here was very stereotypical and kind of tacky. To me, it doesn't bother me, whatever. If you find it tacky, if you're Latino and you find it tacky, then I will agree with you. And if you're Latino and you don't mind this stuff, then you don't mind it. It really doesn't bother me. All right, let's talk some good things about this film. There are a couple scenes in this movie. There's a couple moments that are enjoyable, that aren't that bad. Also, I didn't mind the music for Blue Beetle, the theme that he has. It kind of has this Stranger Things scythe kind of sound to it. But when you look at some of the other elements of this film, you can tell that they are trying to do this kind of 80s aesthetic, and I think it could have worked if that would have been prominent throughout the whole entire film. The problem is it's not. It doesn't ground itself in that different retro kind of feel. So it feels very out of place. It doesn't meld well with the rest of this movie. Some of the dialogue in this film, especially in the first act, sounds like it's coming from the first draft of this script, and at times can be pretty bad. The bad guy, who's played by Susan Sarandon in this film, she's not a very good character. Susan Sarandon, who is an actual seasoned actor, I mean, she's been around for forever, but I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if she just didn't like this movie. I don't know if it was the way that they had her, if it was the direction. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of times where when she's delivering a line, she seems really unenthused, and it just comes off really awkward. And not only that, there was no nuance to her character. There was nothing unique about her character. She's just a stereotypical bad guy. She was just evil to be evil because she liked being evil and she liked evil things, and she was just a money-grubbing, bigoted person. The best part of this movie was probably this big guy right here. He acted his parts really well, and at one point you kind of dive into his backstory, and I was thinking, this guy's backstory I find way more interesting and I would have rather watched a movie on this guy than the story that we're watching right now. Right, and then the kid who plays Jaime, he does a fine job. My problem with him is honestly just his character. He's this perfect, holier than thou little freaking Gary Stu. He's worse than the neutered portrayal of Holland's Spider-Man. And I know some people get mad about that because a lot of people really like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I'm not going to get more into it, but he was a very boring character in my opinion. If they would have given him a little bit of an edge, it's okay to have really goody two-shoe type characters. That's fine. There's a lot of those characters that people really like. Tobey Maguire's portrayal of Spider-Man in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies, I think, is a really good example. He is definitely not the most masculine guy, I guess you could say, but he doesn't just come off as one-dimensional in my opinion. This kid, yeah, he's kind of one-dimensional. He loves his family and he just wants to do everything right, and he's just a perfect little angel. So the message in this film is
his family.
And if you at one point missed that, don't worry. They will drill it into your brain as much as possible. They do not miss an opportunity to tell you how important family is.
I don't have friends. I got family.
And look, I'm not like anti-family or anything like that. Like, of course. And part of the problem is, yeah, most people, the majority of people understand the importance of family. We get it. It's like they think they're talking to people who are like really anti-family or something. And it's like, yeah, because there's a ton of anti-family people out there. Like, yeah, family is important. But by the end of this movie, because of how hard they pushed it, when it was like something we already understood, we were like, we get it. Yes, it's important. Thank you, Vin Diesel.
Family.
It made me in the end of the movie just be like, I hate family. Like, because I just wanted to not agree with them because I was just so annoyed. Hasn't anything like that happened to you where like, it's like you agree with somebody about something, but they're so insistent about it and they're so annoying about it that you're like, you know what, that's it. No, I hate it. Whatever you like, I hate it. And I'm just against it because you're annoying the crap out of me. This movie has put me off family forever. So if this movie would have ended maybe like 20 minutes earlier, I probably would be giving a little bit of a different review right now. I'd probably be saying, yeah, this movie's fine. Not the best, not the worst. But the last act in this film just goes on forever. And it should have been a lot shorter. And it would have benefited from being a shorter movie. And because of that last act, because of how long and drawn out it was, it actually kind of made me dislike the film. It left a really bad taste in my mouth. And it made me dislike it probably more than I initially would have. There were so many things they were trying to do in this last act. They were trying to do these scenes that people were going to remember. Like they were trying to do these heartfelt scenes or these triumphant scenes or these badass scenes, but not one of them really lands. Like, yeah, there's some that are like, there's some scenes where you're like, yeah, that's nice, I guess. But there's just so many of them. There's like, it's like they're trying to do it with every scene, and each scene they try to draw it out and it just doesn't work. They just had no momentum. Nothing in this movie had that much momentum. Around the end of this movie, I was sitting there and I was just like, you have told the story, do what you need to do and get on with it. So in the end, this is just a very forgettable superhero movie. It's a run-of-the-mill superhero movie. It's nothing you haven't seen before. These characters are nothing new. It doesn't have anything that interesting to say. The action scenes, personally for me, to me, kind of came off as like a fight scene from Power Rangers. It's trying to stand out by its angle of being a movie that's kind of directed towards Latinos and having the family being more prominent. But it really doesn't work. If anything, the whole focusing on the family more, I think, hurts it. The thing is, I feel like there was actually kind of a way that they could have made this not so generic. But overall, this film is at best mediocre, and at worst, just plain sloppy. I think there is a superhero fatigue right now. I think that there is some truth to that. I'm not saying that a superhero movie can't do good, but I think that there definitely is a fatigue. And this movie is not helping it. That's all I really have for today. Do you guys like Blue Beetle? Did you watch Blue Beetle? Do you think it was good? This is the Happy Critic. Just keep watching movies, guys, and keep being happy. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.